Welcome back to STON Talk. Today, it's just me and Jamal. And Jamal, I want to ask you something. Do you think TON has finally reached the point where people are using it for real things? Or do you think we're still in that stage where everybody is talking about what TON could become?
That's actually a good question. Because if you asked me that a couple of years ago, I would have said people were mostly talking about potential. Everything was about the future. The next update, the next big product, the next big opportunity. But lately it feels different. It feels like more people are talking about products they're actually using.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation today. Because every ecosystem talks about growth. Every ecosystem talks about adoption. But eventually you have to ask a simple question. What are people actually using?
And that's where utility comes in. At some point, hype isn't enough anymore. People need real reasons to come back.
You know what's funny? Crypto people have been saying we're still early for years now.
That's probably the most popular phrase in crypto.
Every year, no matter what's happening, we're still early.
To be fair, sometimes it's true.
Maybe. But eventually, you have to stop talking about being early and start looking at what's actually being built. And honestly, one of the reasons this topic came to mind is because of STON.fi. If you look at the things we've been talking about lately on this podcast, the conversation isn't just about swapping tokens anymore.
That's true. A lot of people still think of STON.fi as just a DEX. But when you look at recent developments, it feels much bigger than that. You've got Omniston, cross-chain swaps, integrations like Predict with Polymarket, and all of it seems to point toward the same goal.
Making things easier.
Exactly. Reducing friction.
And honestly, I think that's one of crypto's biggest challenges. Not technology, usability.
I agree. Most users don't leave because the technology is bad. They leave because everything feels complicated.
That reminds me of something I saw in the community this week. Somebody said, nobody wakes up excited to use a bridge.
That's one of the most accurate things I've heard all month.
It's true though. Nobody enjoys moving assets across multiple chains. Nobody enjoys figuring out wallets, gas fees, approvals, and all those extra steps.
People care about outcomes, not the process.
Exactly. And I think that's why something like Omniston is more important than people realize. Most users won't even know it's there. They'll just notice things feel easier.
Which is how good infrastructure should work. If users spend all their time thinking about the infrastructure, then something has probably gone wrong.
Let's take Predict with Polymarket as an example. Most users opening that app aren't thinking about cross-chain execution. They're thinking about making a prediction. Maybe it's football, maybe it's crypto, maybe it's politics. Whatever it is, they care about the experience.
And that's what utility looks like. Technology enabling an experience instead of getting in the way of it.
That's a good line right there. Because when I think about utility, I don't think about more features. I think about fewer obstacles.
Same here. And that's one reason I think TON is in an interesting position. Telegram already has the audience. Millions of people are already there. The challenge isn't bringing people into Telegram. The challenge is giving them useful things to do once they're there.
That's a really important point. Because a lot of ecosystems spend years trying to attract users. TON already has access to users. Now it's about building products people actually want.
And that's why projects like STON.fi matter. They're helping create those experiences. Whether it's swaps, liquidity, cross-chain access, or infrastructure powering other applications, it's all contributing to a bigger ecosystem.
So let me ask you the big question. Are we entering the utility era of TON?
I think we're moving in that direction. Not because everything is perfect, but because the conversation is changing.
What do you mean?
A few years ago, the main question was, how much can I make? Now more people are asking, what can I actually do with this? That's a completely different mindset.
You know what? I think that's probably the best answer we've had all episode. Maybe that's the real sign of maturity. When people stop focusing only on value and start focusing on usefulness.
Exactly. Speculation attracts attention. Utility keeps people around.
I like that. And honestly, when I look at TON and some of the things STON.fi has been building recently, I think we're starting to see that shift happen.
I agree. We're not at the finish line yet, but we're definitely seeing more focus on experiences and less focus on pure hype.
Well, if you're listening, Let us know. Do you think STON is entering its utility era, or do you think we're still early? And more importantly, what STON products are you actually using today? Jamal, thanks for joining me.
Always a pleasure.
And thank you all for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode of STON Talk.